You can't excuse it without dealing with it. So we can't excuse Walter Scott without dealing with the fact, God, I'm going to talk whether y'all want me to it, that the video don't lie. And maybe, just maybe, that which was caught on video was done to Michael Brown and done to Trayvon Martin and excuse. Oh, let me go a little deeper, because there's some of us, who want to come to church with the holy face on. Like we the best thing since sliced bread. If there were cameras following you around day in and day out, if there were cameras following you around, if we filmed you giving God praise in here, blessing God with your lips in here, and then cussing your husband, your wife, your children out, what would we It's easy to blame them when there is no proof. I'm almost done. You can't excuse it without dealing with it. If so, the pathological problems that cause the offense or the offenses persist, and thusly the pathology itself persists. The reason that this kind of arrogant abuse of power exists is because there is a tendency to sweep it under the rug. Spoiled children go up into problem adults because we sweep it under the rug. Abusive and disrespectful spouses persist in their abusive and disrespectful behavior because we sweep it under the rug. When we sweep it under the rug, we do them and ourselves a disservice. If you love them, you will challenge and confront them for the purpose of their own deliverance. Let's jump into the text. Somebody say the text. Text says that the famine comes and Joseph's brothers come to Joseph, and Joseph recognizes them, but they don't recognize him. I'm almost through. Touch your neighbor and say, he's almost through. I told you I was going to give you 1 point to wrap your mind around so that when you go home, you ain't going to be able to get no sleep tonight. Every once in a while, the word ought to just keep you so unsettled that you can't sleep. This is that kind of word. Somebody shall go ahead and preach. They come to him. He recognizes them, and the text says, somebody shout, the text says, and he remembered the dream that he had, watch this, about them. Which means, watch this, Joseph sees that what he saw some 28 years earlier, because you remember there's a 7-year famine he's been through for 14 years, the process of getting him ready. Text says he remembers that he saw his brothers in his dream. Watch this, that this season was the season that his brothers were going to be benefited or going to benefit from what God is doing in his life. But notice what Joseph does. I love this, LJ. God have mercy. I love it, Thomas. I love it, CJ. I love this. I love it, Chris. Notice what the text says. Text says he talked to them roughly. Text says he said to them, you are spies. Now, here's the problem I got with the text, because when you read later on, you'll find out that Joseph, when he left their presence, went out and wept. So now the truth of the matter is Joseph wept because he loved them. But there are times when your love makes you a fool. So I'm going to preach whether you want me to or not. There are times that you got to love responsibly, restore responsibly, and reconcile responsibly. Somebody ought to shout, yes, Lord. Because the issue is not whether or not God has done what he's done in your life. The question might be, have they changed? And are they ready to handle what they could not handle back then? Somebody ought to shout, yes, Lord. Joseph, I'm almost done. Joseph says, y'all are spies. And I love this, Charles. This is what he says. They said, no, we're not spies. We've just come to buy grain. No, y'all came to spy out the nakedness of the land. Y'all just came to be nosy. Y'all just came. God have mercy. Y'all just came to see what God is doing in me now. I know y'all don't know that it is me, but y'all do know that y'all sold me in Egypt. Oh God, I'm going to preach whether y'all want me to or not. Because God has a way of leading you right back into the general area and general vicinity. I'm going to preach whether you want me to or not. Of the last one you dogged out. Oh God, I'm going to preach whether y'all. Hey, how come ain't nobody shouting now? God has a way of taking you right back to the place of your disdain and the place of your disrespect. And say, look at him now. I wish I had a witness. Back then you didn't want it. Now you're hot.